Hello YouTube, my name is Legend of DS and welcome back to Can They Be DLC Season 3 Episode 8. This episode revolving around Fortnite, and can Fortnite land a place in Fire Respect 5 or Season 2 of Super Smash Bros. Ultimate DLC. But before that, let's get on to the news, a little bit of news. What news exists this week? Well, we have a lot of news. Well, first things, we have a lot of leaks or rumors. I don't like when I hate the term leak that every single stupid website and a shit ton of YouTubers use when it's a rumor. A leak doesn't happen until you are 100% sure it was something. I can come out here and say, oh, by the way, rumor has it that this character is gonna be in Smash Bros. Even if it is from the same rumor that websites use. The leak is only proven when it's real. For example, Mario and Rabbids Kingdom Battle. It was a rumor in January. It was proven a leak around March, I think, right before E3. In fact, I think March, that's when a leak happened. The first it was a rumor, then it was a leak. Why? There was evidence. Remember the Grinch leak? How was that a leak? That also happened a year ago. Right now, the Smash community in terms of rumors is basically the dirt sheets from wrestling. And if you don't know what dirt sheets are, it's basically the same thing as where the leaks come from, or leaks and rumors come from. And right now I'm telling you, it's exactly the same stuff as in pro wrestling, where somebody says, I think, somebody says, I heard, and all of a sudden it's a big leak and rumor and confirmation, even if it's speculation. We've had that insane over the last couple of weeks, or the last week, where all of a sudden Crash, Rinu, I don't know how to pronounce that character, and Ryu Hayabusa and Cosmos, and all of a sudden gain popularity, not popularity, all of a sudden were confirmed, deconfirmed, reconfirmed, deconfirmed again. Oh, by the way, they're confirmed again. Oh, no, now actually they're not in. Oh, maybe they're in. And it's a crazy amount of stuff. It's rumors that get passed around as leaks, and I hate the term leak so much because it's so fucking stupid most of the time. It doesn't actually make any sense. People take opinions of people and people take the words of insiders, even when they're not even saying anything, as truthful. Actually, another thing that happened during this week, people are taking Sabi, a real leaker, who's as much of a leaker as I am. By that I mean she's not a leaker and only gets her information a day before, doesn't leak anything, gives us names because that's her information. It's somebody that gets the URLs and the YouTube names of the trailers they're about to drop, and then tells her that's what it is. But she went in on Maxwell from the goddamn Scribblenauts as a possible DLC character. Right. Because that's definitely gonna be a thing. Definitely gonna be a good thing. Very good. Very nice. It's just stupid. And I'm gonna say this, and I'm putting I'm putting a stance on here. Every single week we've been getting rumor, and I hate myself for having said leak. Every single leak is false. Every single leak that happened in this past week is not true. It won't happen, and I'm watching right now to see, and I would love to see it be it this week, next week. I think it's going to be in the next couple of weeks that we're going to be getting the reveal of character pack 5 from the Fire Pack, and I think it's Doomslayer. Still am taking a stake in Doomslayer. I think he's going to be it. Maybe the thing that hurts Doomslayer the most is the lack of representation in Japan, and Sakurai saying he doesn't want characters not to be region specific. But at the same time, he has talked about the influence of Doom and American games and branching out. I think we're gonna start seeing maybe a little bit more, not the Western expansion that people are expecting for Smash, but I think we are starting to maybe stray away from characters that are as well known in Japan as they are worldwide. what was that sentence? That sentence made no sense what I just said. But like mostly like looking into more things that are just Japan, and the fact that the character is popular, and Bethesda's been even though all the shit is going on with Bethesda right now, they've been supporting the Switch since the beginning. So hey, it's a possibility. I'm not saying 100% it's going to happen, but it's possible. And also another piece of news, not really piece of news, well, not really piece of news involving Smash or Nintendo, but it's been the release of WWE 2K20, which has been a goddamn disaster. And just wanted to bring that out because that's a disaster that's happening. Also, Sony, please respond to my brother because he bought the game. We're both wrestling fans. He bought the game, excited to play some of the things, and the game's a complete trash and hellhole. And it's missing even content that they said was going to be at launch, like the Bump in the Night DLC. Is trying to get a refund, which apparently Sony is having or giving, but the Sony thing wasn't working properly. The live mass or live chat, and then they have yet to respond to my brother's email about that not working and stuff like that. And also, fuck you, Sony, because for whatever reason, Sony Portugal has on their website that their thing was going to be closed during the weekend, I think, and it was not working properly or something. And when giving the time for when it was going to get back to work, it didn't say 12 a.m. I think, or p.m. For any Portuguese city. It went with a Brazilian city, which is why I absolutely despise almost every single website on earth that has a Portuguese option, or a Portuguese company, or a big corporation side of a company being in Portugal, and then being like, oh yeah, we're not Portuguese, we're not using Portugal, we actually from Brazil. Because fuck you, there's two different countries, and it's the best example I could give for people, for the Brits, is imagine if Sony UK, instead of responding to you and giving you time for how it would work on instead of being like, oh, by the way, it's gonna start working 10 or 12 a.m. London time, they're like, oh, it's 12 p.m. New York time. Or if you from the UK, from 12 a.m. Sydney, or from the same thing for America, use this. And like that's why I always like, website gives me a choice of like whatever language I want, I put it in English, just because I hate the fact that every single one, because it's far easier for me to understand English than it is to understand Brazilian Portuguese, because they're very different. It's just like Spanish, just like English, every language in the world that has multiple versions, they're pretty fucking different. And I hate the fact that Sony Portugal responded by giving us a time from a Brazilian city when it was going to start working, instead of just saying a Portuguese city and a Portuguese time. And it was the official Portuguese website. It wasn't even Sony B or Sony PT. It was that could legit be Sony BR. It was Sony Portugal, which is that much more angry inducing. Anyway, let's get started on with the character of, or the Fortnite possibility. So, possibility of Fortnite being in the game. Like, moveset wise, it's easy to imagine a moveset, you know? The character already jumps, already has, well, the melee attacks are a little bit iffy because you just have the pickaxe, but they could do something with it. Multitude of guns, grenades, and all that stuff that could be used in the DLC or in the moveset. Up B could easily be the glider with maybe one of those things that they use, like one of the rocks that you use now. I don't know, I haven't, Fortnite is now changed, it's now in chapter 2, that could have, like, what was it, in one of the areas you could get a rock and will give you super jumping abilities. That's all they could do, and they have a myriad of weapons they could easily use for it. Fortnite is still a popular franchise despite the fact that it has dropped a lot in the last few months. It's still very popular. Their chapter 2 a live stream had 6 million people watching it live, so it's still popular despite what some people might say and might think. And we've gotten a lot of rumors about it, that it would be and it would be Jonesy, which is basically the default one. Fortnite in that has a myriad of costumes that you could use, from default characters to all different designs and all the different costumes that the characters can have in Fortnite. It's pretty extensive what they can use. So it's a very not limited franchise. It's very big. The map would be the big one, the big problem. It could just be like a traveling stage where you go from location to location to location. I heard some people say that this would be jumping their shark on getting the character, because, and it's true, the franchise is yet to prove itself in a way that others have. It's the same thing I have with Undertale getting a rep in Smash. It's still not proven itself in a test of time to be and how a franchise, if it is a franchise or if it is just a fad, a time period thing. Because Fortnite could be very popular right now, but come next generation and everybody's like, oh, remember that 2 to 3 year span we played Fortnite? Yeah, that was fun, but we moved on. Like, GTA 5 is big, but GTA was big before. You know, Minecraft is huge and it's been huge for 10 years. So it's held up and it has other games in it that have been somewhat successful. It's proven to be a franchise. So Fortnite could eventually become that. But how likely is it for character Pack 5? I don't think so. For Pack 5, I think we're going to get a character, I've said Doomslayer, I think it's going to be a character that has been from the beginning with the Nintendo and the Switch. Because if you look at all the characters and the companies that the characters that are right now in the characters pack, or the Fighters pack, have been all characters that have added together, built up, or have like a history of, with the Switch, either with the company being the heavy supporter or having business decisions being made with Nintendo. For example, Sega and Atlus were at the Nintendo Switch presentation where they announced Shin Megami Tensei 5. So being the first character would be Joker, made sense, or Joker being a part of it. Although not first people's choice when they would say, who do you think has a legitimate chance of being Atlus character in Smash? People are probably going to go with the Shin Megami Tensei character, which technically speaking Joker is, but would not say Joker because most people didn't realize about Persona Q2 releasing just a week before Smash Ultimate came out. I'm not saying that Joker, that a lot of people misunderstand when people talk about that, like a character getting in Smash because of other appearances and then being based on the game that they're not in, or that's not in the Nintendo system. People confuse those two. Just because a character gets in because of something doesn't mean it has to follow that something to a T, or just be based on that. It could be based on like that allows them entry, but obviously just meaning the character enters because of something. They enter like Joker enters through Persona Q, but Sakurai chooses to base their moveset around Persona 5. That doesn't mean that it invalidates the opinion that he, or the fact that he got in because of Persona Q. You can say that doesn't matter, that the Nintendo appearances doesn't matter, but Sakurai said that he felt iffy about making Cloud the Final Fantasy rep if he did not have any Nintendo appearances. So take that as you will, or take that as basically a soft confirmation by Sakurai himself. Then who do you have? Where was I? Oh, then it's Hero. Dragon Quest is a major franchise in Japan, and for better for worse, although not huge in the West, it's been somewhat big in Japan. It's not somewhat big in Japan. Somewhat big in the West. It's known in the West, more importantly. It's not just a character that's popular in Japan and the West has no idea who the hell they are. It's a character. The games make sense. And Square Enix has been with Nintendo from the beginning. Octopath Traveler was one of the games announced at the Nintendo Live presentation for the Switch. It was one of the games that Nintendo pushed the hardest for that year until it released in 2018. And Dragon Quest XI was the first game to be revealed for the Nintendo NX at the time in June 2015. What else did it happen? Oh, they also announced the Dragon Quest Heroes games coming to the Switch in the Nintendo Switch presentation. So Square has been a company that supported the Switch heavily. Then you have Microsoft with Banjo-Kazooie, not heavily supporting Nintendo since the beginning, or with the Switch, or a major company with it, but Dragon Quest or Banjo-Kazooie, very highly requested characters for Smash for about 20 years. the recent deals with Nintendo and Microsoft much more open and much more pushing towards the idea of, not the idea, but much more clearly pushing towards the idea of being a software-based company. You can see that with the movements they've been doing, like Game Pass coming to PC, Halo the Master Chief Collection going to PC. They're not just going, maybe they're not going 100% full-blown on just being a third-party developer and software company, but they're opening to the idea of allowing their older games on other systems. Ori and Cuphead already are on the Switch. We most likely will be seeing more. Maybe Halo, I don't know. Seems likely. We heard a lot of reports about it, so maybe, maybe not, I don't know, I'm thinking so, but you never know. Then Terry with SNK. SNK has been a heavy supporter of the Switch. A crap ton of SNK ports were available on the Switch from launch. They had a lot of success on the Switch. They were one of the first heavy developers on the Switch. They had more games on the Switch at one point than Nintendo did, which then obviously made sense because a lot of them were Neo Geo ports. They were very successful on the Switch, found a lot of success early on. They have games still coming out for the Switch. They had that exclusivity deal or publishing deal or whatever it was with SNK Heroines. So, you know, there was a lot of history there. So I think Character 5 will have a character like that. Somebody that early on Nintendo and the company supported each other, or the company supported Nintendo from the beginning, or a very big or somewhat game changer, let's put it that way. The company or deal was done midway through or about in November of 2018, which makes sense about when things with Banjo-Kazooie were done, or when Microsoft and Nintendo were much more open. Does Fortnite and Epic have that? Kinda. Crossplay was a big deal in June of 2018, especially when Sony wasn't doing it, and Sony was doing it very not doing terribly well with how they were handling it. So, you know, it's the thing, but I don't think it would be for Character Pack 5. It could happen in the future, not saying it couldn't. It could happen easily with Mii costumes, for maybe the two default ones, the male and the female. But as a Pack 5, I don't think it's a chance. For the rest, future, maybe. It's a big franchise, it's still a big, not big franchise, a big game, still big game. So it's very possible that Nintendo and Epic strike a deal midway through or right now, because apparently rumor has it that the DLC, the continuation of DLC was chosen around E3. So that lines up also with when the announcement and when Sakurai recorded it, because it's good to remember Sakurai recorded the Banjo-Kazooie DLC pack or video right after, or a few days after the Dragon Quest one, and by then the decision had already been made, and Sakurai even mentions it. So it's very possible oh Jesus, it's very possible that he knew, or very possible that the deals were stricken there. So it's very weird. It's a situation that's weird. But can Fortnite be in? There's a lot of possibilities. Maybe a stage and Mii costumes I think are more likely, but I wouldn't discount a character as a possible outcome in the near future. So let's get on to the comments. So first we're going to talk about, I have 4 comments to talk about, but first let's talk about the 2 ones that came from sorry, my throat's a little bit dry now, from the Dante video that were posted. Both of them, funnily enough, sandwiched between Lloyd comments. But first was Ray J just saying Dante for Smash, which doesn't open a lot of, or hashtag Dante for Smash, which doesn't open a lot of it. But remember, Harada will do everything that he can to get spammers and characters like hashtags like that to not happen, or characters that have hashtags like that not to happen, as long as they're not spammed into Smash. Then Lord Metallium saying do one for Cosmos as well, since a leak revealed her. A smiley face. First things first, not a leak, and she's not revealed. It was a rumor, and I don't know about 4chan leaks and rumors, but I am actually, I'll wait until the end of the, well, I might as well say it now. Cosmos is in fact a character I wanted to do earlier in season 1, decided not to, so I thought, why not for now, like, especially now. It's another Namco character that we could discuss, so it is in fact the next episode. Funnily enough, this comment was made 23 hours ago, and throughout the week I was like, cool, it should be after Fortnite, and Cosmos is going to be the character, so that's it. Then we have, for the Void episode, Terry Silverton saying, I think that Lloyd Irwin will be coming to Smash through DLC, but as one of the additional fighters after the Fighters Pack. In regards to Fortnite character getting in, I could see a Fortnite getting in as a Mii costume at most. That's also a possibility that it is. Also, you misspelled Fortnite. I know it's a weird one how Fortnite is actually spelled. You spelled I believe the correct way of like what it used to mean, or what it means. The way you spelled it is the 2 week thing. I think it's when you mean 2 weeks. It's a Fortnite, but Fortnite the game is spelled without the H. No, is it what is it? It's Fortnith. So TE. It doesn't have the N or the G and the H. It's a hella confusing. First time I spelled Fortnite, I also spelled it that way. So yeah, it's fun. It's a weird one. You immediately go to the real word, the real word in your mind, and you even type it without noticing it, and it's a weird typing for Fortnite. And then we have D Duffy with Lloyd is a very popular in the Smash community. Just not as big in the West as in the East. He's specifically huge in Japan. He probably is in the top 3 most popular VG characters for for Japanese Smash fans. Ugh. I hate when people say he's not popular to the Smash community when the country that makes Smash loves